Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This interview is with Diego El Pantera Negra Pereira, who recently picked up the victory over Jesse Medina at Eternal 75 in the Gold Coast. He took Jesse to a decision. Now, Diego's been around. He's had nearly 20 pro fights. He's fought the who's who of Australian MMA fighters, especially in the featherweight division. It's a really good chat to see where he's at and where he thinks he stands in the rankings. We talk about who he might want next, his future in the sport. So if you're an Australian MMA fan, this fight's for you. There's also a bit of a logjam up the top with title contenders, so we get to see his thoughts on who he thinks is next. Is it him? Who knows? You're going to have to listen. Hope you enjoy. But ladies and gentlemen, right now, Diego El Pantera Negra Pereira. It's a little like... we have a little bit of connection issues sometimes, so like it jumps around a little bit, but hopefully it all makes sense and I've cut it and edited it the right way. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Diego Pereira. Now, mate, main event winner, Eternal 75 in the Gold Coast, taking out a tough competitor in Jesse Medina. First of all, what were your thoughts on the match?
Man, I was looking forward to it. I knew I don't underestimate anybody that I'd fight. We knew we had all the tools and everything else. It was just a matter of execution. So, when we get to this level, it's like he is a high level. I wasn't going to beat him in terms of showing him as much things they hadn't seen, but it was mostly about the thinking, the reaction timing and confusing him and things like that. So I think we've done that really well.
Now, how good is Jesse's grappling in your mind?
Very good. Very good. He, couldn't get him out of there. I believe my grappling is excellent. There's always room for improvement in any aspect, but as you could see, I had him there, controlled him well, and he always did a good job defensively. I wasn't able to land a ton of damaging ground and pound strikes because he was constantly moving, and I always will favor holding the position and making sure that I secure the position, as opposed to trying to land damaging strikes and being reckless and losing the position. So every time I was trying to posture up or get into a better position to strike, he was moving and changing and holding and securing the position. So he knew where he needed to be to stay safe, and he did that really well. Whenever I advanced the position to like a mount or something like that, he would move and he bridged. He would give his back up. He's very extremely confident with his defense. So I was a step ahead of him the whole time. But that goes to show how well developed and well rounded he is, and his grappling is very well rounded as well.
Now, you're one of the most analytical fighters, and you really do articulate how well you can break down a fight and your performance. You had that rear naked choke in pretty tight, and you talked him pretty well. Looking back on it, have you seen the footage? Is there something technically that you think you did wrong there, or is it just toughness from Medina?
Brazilian jiu-jitsu takes time to work. It doesn't work instantly unless, in MMA, say the guy's hurt, you've caught him with a punch, or they dazzled or something like that you can just kind of sneak something in and finish them pretty quickly. If they're not, you take a guy like Jesse Medina, for example, extremely well-rounded and experienced. He's been there a ton of times. He wasn't hurt. I took his back. I had him pretty well controlled, but he was there. He was still fresh. So I had his back, not enough time with which to work to make the position work and finish him. So I had it pretty tight. I executed what I had. The hold I had wasn't the best hold I could have done, but given the time that I had with which to work, that's what I did. And he knew also how much time he had, so he just decided to toughen it out and not tap out because he knew time was going to run out. But had I had more time, then I definitely would have gotten him out of there.
And where do you think this victory, because you've had a real mixed bag over the last couple of years, you've challenged for titles and whatnot, and Jesse's a really, really tough fighter. Not in the top 5 necessarily, but where do you think this performance puts you in title contentions?
Listen, Jesse Medina has been around. He's fought everybody around the scene, old and new. And he, on Eternal, he was coming off a loss to the then champion, defending champion Jack Jenkins, and whom he holds a win against. a finish nonetheless. And that was former title contender guy that I just beat. Myself coming off a title shot as well. Um, it takes me, to the next spot. I don't believe I should get a title shot next, because I do know that, hey man, there's other guys out there. There's other people that should move up and challenge and so forth. And so I commend them for that. Guys such as Abdallah, he should probably get the shot next before me, because he hasn't had a shot yet, and he's been looking good as of recent. So he should get a shot before me. I'm not saying I should get a shot absolutely next, but they should absolutely not forget and not blink and realize I'm still here. I'm still right there. And at any moment I can step in and steal the show. So um, I'm right up there, and winning against Jesse Medina puts me a step or two away from that shot again. That's what I believe.
Because you are in a very tricky position where the two guys fighting for the featherweight belt, you've unfortunately come up short against, and Abdallah, actually you got the victory over. Is that a fight you'll run back with?
I don't say no to any fights. I will certainly challenge and face and beat Abdallah again if need be.
And mate, it's probably a frustrating question to keep getting asked, but when you're 20 fights into your career and there's been a few title shots fall short, what are the goals? How long do you want to keep doing this? Is this still something where you think you can reach the heights of the UFC and promotions like that?
Yeah, of course, move on and learn from it and keep moving forward. I'm still in my prime years, just hitting the prime years. There's many years ahead of me, so I don't look too far ahead. I only think about the now, and right now I'm in my prime, and I'm still very much hungry and firing on all cylinders. And I'm gonna keep pushing forward and reaching for as high as I can.
Why'd you get into mixed martial arts to begin with?
I got into it. A friend of mine I used to work with back in, say going 11, 12 years ago, or more. I was working a job I hated, and we used to work on a friend of mine is a Brazilian guy. And at the time, I didn't know about mixed martial arts. I didn't even know who Anderson Silva was. And he was telling me about Anderson Silva and how good he was doing and how amazing he was. And I was like intrigued by that. That got me interested, and I started researching and watching fights and whatnot. And that's really what got me started. Because back in Brazil, when I grew up, practiced all sorts of different martial arts, kung fu, capoeira, judo, whatever. And always did a bunch of things. I knew I had a great athletic ability. I wasn't doing a whole lot at that time. And that got me interested in pursuing and learning something new. And my friend got me started in that path.
Did you ever think that you would, be at the height of Australian MMA, and you really are the top 5 minimum in this sport? Did you envision this?
No, I didn't. I mean, I don't think you can. I feel, especially at the beginning. At the beginning, it was mostly a thing of a young boy that was like 18, 19 or whatever, thinking, I'm tough. I can learn this stuff. I've done a little bit of martial arts before. I'd like to see how good I can be. And that was purely it. Interest, intrigue, and trying to find out how good you can be. And then later, as you learn, a few months in, a few years in, things change, right? The goals change, the experience changes, the questions changes. Then it's about, I've got these skills. I wonder if I can test them against somebody else who also has skills, and if I can beat them. Then it becomes a question of challenging yourself against somebody else that's also skilled. And then from then on, it just continue to be different questions. Okay, I've beaten this guy. I've beaten somebody that was better than me, supposedly. How good can I be? So the question just became, how much farther can I go? How much better can I get? And it's just endless. And that really what challenges me and fires me up.
And how good can you be?
I think that's yet to be discussed and found and answered. But I feel like I can be great, really, really great. And I just keep showing new levels every time I step in there. And I think people are excited every time I'm about to fight. And I'm excited. I bring the excitement. I work extremely hard. And I think every time I step in there, I'm a better version of myself. And I think that's what keeps people coming back. And I think how great I can be, that's yet to be answered. But I can tell you there's great potential there. And it's going to be still unraveled.
Now, Abdallah Biata, Justin Van Heerden, or Rod Costa, who do you want to face next?
It doesn't matter who. If they have the title, I'll fight any one of them. You know, any one of them. It's at the end of the day, it's like, if you want to be that champ, if you want to be the guy, then whoever is the holder, you have to be willing to step up and challenge them. So whoever holds it, man, I will be ready, and I will come up and we'll challenge them and we'll go at it.
Do you think, sorry to pry so much on the fights, just love seeing you get in there. Do you think that you're going to have to potentially maybe take the loser out of Van Heerden and Costa, and Abdallah takes the winner?
We'll see, man. I guess that's a question yet to be answered. We'll see. We never know, right? We'll see. I'll just keep doing what I can do, what I can control, and that's what I'll be focusing on, which is the work, improving myself. Everything else is outside of my control, so I'm not going to focus on that. But yeah, we'll have to see. Is
there anyone outside of Eternal, or just guys you haven't fought in the past, that intrigues you in Australian MMA?
Not sure. There's a few. I don't know if they're around or if they're still active or whatever. There's, like, I haven't fought Muhammad Alavi. He's a good skilled fighter, but he's not active, right? He hasn't fought since the last fight against Justin. Before that, he had fought like once in 2 years. Who knows? So these guys aren't active, but it's something that could happen. There's some guys like Rodolfo Marques is somebody who is another experienced fellow whom I was matched up against in the past, and it didn't end up happening. Another Brazilian fellow, black belt, long time, he's very experienced. I would love that fight, but who knows if he's still active. I mean, he just fought Medina recently. That's a fight that intrigues me. We were supposed to fight. It didn't go ahead. So there may be a few out there, but it's just that the guys aren't active, so I don't hear from them. I don't know of them. But these are the names I've just told you. They intrigue me and could still happen, but they just need to be active.
And mate, before I let you go, after it's all said and done, how does Diego Pereira want to be remembered in mixed martial arts in Australia?
Man, after it's all said and done, I think again, I don't think about these things. I just put my head down and I go to work, and I just focus on being the best human being, first of all, that I can be, in terms of ethics, carrying myself, because I coach children on a daily basis. I coach adults of different ages and sizes and etc. So I carry myself, not that I want to be a role model, but I carry myself as if I already have kids, and that they look up to me and they respect me, and they see in me someone whom they would like to become, for examples on how to respond to situations in life. And so if at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I can be remembered as such, as somebody who carried himself with respect, gratitude, a humble approach to everything, and hard work ethic, and did everything he could to be the best he could, treated everybody respectfully along the way, and tried his best to just, do the right thing, by himself, by others, and so on. If at the end of the day that's how I'm remembered, I will be very, very happy and grateful.
Awesome, mate. Well, you're already like an inspiration to so many, and we love seeing you get in there, and it's glad you got the victory, and I can't wait to see what's next for you. Do you have any inkling of what's next, when you want to get back in there?
Not sure, man. Again, I just had a fight, now it's about going back to the drawing board, get back to work, continue learning, improving upon the things that we can improve upon, and seeing what worked, what didn't, that kind of stuff. And then, sitting down with the team and the managers and see what's next.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much. I will chat to you another time. Best of luck, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mitch. I appreciate the time, man. Have a good one.